My mom's always been strict. She has obsessive-compulsive disorder, or OCD, a condition that causes obsessive thoughts that can lead to compulsive actions. She washes dishes, floors, clothes, and airs the house 13 times a day if she thinks it's not clean enough. Hi, my name is Lisa. Because of the strict control throughout my life, I decided to try something forbidden. It happened when I met a girl on the street. She was smoking a vape, staring at her phone, and not paying attention to the road or traffic lights. I managed to grab and hold her at the last moment. Her name was Ven Ling. This girl came from China. If you didn't know, in that country, it's strictly prohibited by law to smoke vapes and pods. In general, any electronic cigarettes, even though that's where they produce them all. Ven Ling bought herself a vape as soon as she arrived and smoked it at home and on the street. She'd been living in the USA for only a week and spoke about how much she loved the fact that her family wasn't there. In gratitude for saving her, she handed me a pink device. I had no idea how to use it, but she showed me and told me everything. I didn't immediately dare to try it because I heard my mom's voice in my head saying, "It's not hygienic, it's dirty, it's disgusting." Those were her daily words. Ven left me the gift and continued on her way, and I put the device in my bag and went home. Mom was cooking dinner and talking to someone on the phone. I only heard, "No! How could she? She needs to be punished so she remembers." At dinner, my mom told me about her friend's daughter. They'd found cigarettes in her bag, and for some reason, my mother threw a fit. After we ate, I cleared the table and washed the dishes, and then Mom came over. She checked every plate, then made me wash them again. Usually I did this without any hassle, but that day I felt too tired. I said it was okay to just leave it, but Mom wouldn't calm down. She began to tremble in a nervous attack, calling me names and demanding that I wash them again. In the end, I washed those dishes 36 damn times. 36! Can you imagine? After that, I went into my room and, feeling weak, lay down on the bed. I got a message on my phone, reached for my bag, and only remembered that my new gift was in there then. I took a couple of puffs, and you know what? I like the berry sweet taste with a slight chill. I also noticed that it calmed me down. Since then, I smoked everywhere. Around the corner on the street, at home when my mother was asleep, in the bathroom, even in the school toilet if no one was there. I started smoking more and more, buying one after another of new flavors, different shapes and brands, and I liked it. Plus, I started sleeping better at night, drinking more water because some flavors were very sweet. And in general, I consider the person who created non-smelly electronic cigarettes a genius. Everything was good, except that I'd spent all my money on them. One day, Ven Ling and I met again, and we went to my house. The first thing Ven said was, "Your house is too clean." Yeah, you're right. It's like an operating room. Why clean the house constantly if it's already clean? It's all my mom. She makes me do it. Once, I cleaned the windows with cotton swabs because she said there's dirt there that can't be removed otherwise. I spent 4 whole days on that. Nightmare. Listen, can I show you what fun means? Then Ven poured a glass of soda right on the floor. I was shocked, and then my friends started throwing all the things around, and I joined in. It was amazing. The whole house changed beyond recognition. The fun didn't last long, though. The door opened, and my mom froze in shock in the doorway. I was punished. My mom said that I'd now have to wash everything 13 times, and if she didn't like it then, 13 times more. This infuriated me. I yelled at her in anger, and my mom threatened to throw away all my belongings. I'm not kidding. She climbed into my closet, pulled out the outerwear, and was going to throw everything away. But I grabbed them by the other end, and we pulled them from side to side. I didn't think I had so much strength in my state of anger. Then I let go of the clothes, and my mom fell, hitting her head. I apologized, feeling ashamed and scared. My mom, getting up from the floor, said that she was upset not so much about the mess in the house as about me smoking. She'd suspected it for a long time, didn't want to believe it, and it turned out to be true. When I was 6 years old, my stepmother came into the picture. You didn't know her, and I never told you about her. This woman had her own daughters, and I was a stranger to them. While my father was at work, she made me do all the cleaning, scrubbing, and polishing. I hated cleaning more than anything in the world, but if I didn't do something, she'd punish me cruelly. Just so you understand, She'd shave my head bald and I'd get 30 lashes on my back with a whip, and that was just the beginning. Then I grew up and ran away from there and made a promise to myself that I'd never clean so much and love order so much. But it turned out to be the opposite. I started to have a disorder, and I even dragged you down with me," my mom said. I'd heard her story for the first time, and I was shocked. I felt sorry for her to the point of being in pain. She started crying, and suddenly, an idea came to me. I took out my pink pod and offered for Mom to try it. "What are you doing? Just try it. It calms you down." "No, I can't. I'm your mother, and you'll always be. Just try it." Mom felt embarrassed, but she took a drag and enjoyed the taste. After 3 minutes, she felt more relaxed. Since then, she started calming down this way, and we also started cleaning less often. My mother cast a spell on me for success. From early childhood, she taught me to be perfect at everything. I was the best student in the class, headed the foundation for the supports of young artists, billed money for my late father. I could sing, dance, play the piano. I spoke 5 foreign languages at 18 years old. I knew manners, and I was often an honored guest at secular tricks. "You have no room for error," she repeated like a prayer. One day, I went with her to her small homeland, Jeju Island. My super business mom strongly resisted the trip, but she couldn't refuse dear business partners who decided to spend a corporate weekend in the format of a house by the sea, a fire, and a bunch of barbecue food. Since they all took their children with them, I was also invited. All the way listening from my mother how she doesn't want to return to the abyss in which she once lived. But we didn't yet know that this trip would reveal all the secrets of her former life and release the demons of the past. Already at the airport, my mother's luggage was lost. A woman took it away with her. We managed to trace her license plate number and follow it across half the island. "Oh no! Are you Hwang Min-ae?" Mom said at the sight of the one who stole her luggage. For the first time, I saw that woman who threw herself at my mother with a hug. In response, my mom stood like a pillar, trying to escape. We were introduced, and my mother, taking her suitcase, got into the car and left. I didn't ask questions about who she was or why she'd hugged her like that because I wasn't allowed to. So we drove in silence. The barbecue started in the evening. During the height of preparation, a strange man entered our rented house. He offered to sell some dried squid. Nobody saw him except for me. He seemed kind and decent. I also saw that his left arm was missing, and I felt uneasy. He noticed my confusion. "I have a daughter, 5 years younger than you. She thinks that I lost my arm while fishing. I once joked that it was bitten off by a shark." "Excuse me, but..." "This happened in my young days, because of my first love. So don't do things you'll regret in the future." "You sound like my mom." "Well, your mom is smart." I took a couple of bunches of squid from him and he left. Even at the party, my mother kept a low profile and demanded manners. "You have no right to be wrong," she repeated through gritted teeth. All the partners praised me and my mother, and she enjoyed it. "My daughter doesn't go to parties or go out with friends. She chooses to study hard and work, like me," she proudly said. And then she suddenly froze. "Where are those squids from? We didn't buy them," my mother asked, and I said that I'd bought them. She grabbed the bundle and threw them in the trash. "I don't eat squid. Don't buy them again, okay?" What a strange reaction. After dinner was over, I risked asking again who that woman was that hugged my mother. She abruptly dropped the plate from her hands, and it shattered. "Don't ask questions! You know I don't allow it!" my mother shouted. I regretted asking. Then we heard the doorbell ring. Opening it, I saw on the threshold that man with a squid. He said he forgot to return my change and came back to give me the money. I asked him to keep it for himself, and then he froze at the sight of my mother. "Minna, is that you?" Mom was silent and turned pale. "You're still so beautiful, and this is our daughter?" "Get out!" "You used to be more polite. Has money made you like this?" "None of your freaking business!" She closed the door, and I then understood why he lost his arm. "Why are you like this? Is this your ex-boyfriend?" "None of your business. You left him because he lost his arm." "Yes, I don't need a disabled husband. How can he earn money if he has no arm?" "How can you say that? It all comes down to money for you, doesn't it?" I got a slap in the face for my rudeness and ran out into the street. And the first thing I did was steal a car and go look for that woman with the luggage. I knew that she'd be able to tell me something very important about my mother. Something terrible, but necessary. And I wasn't mistaken. The woman sat on the coast and wept. I asked her what was wrong. Your mother is so cold towards me. We had not seen each other for so many years. I thought she'd be glad to see me, at least out of politeness. Please forgive her. She didn't mean it, I'm sure. She has a well-bred daughter. She raised a good child. She got up and left. I didn't even have the time to ask who she was. Then I found a photo diary left in her place. I opened it and saw those photos. It turned my whole world upside down. My hands were shaking and I started crying. In a couple of hours' time, my mom found me. She tried to order me to go home, but I just ignored her. Then I looked her straight in the eye and asked, "Why have I never seen my father? I know he's dead, but who was he? You forbade me to talk about him." Mom tried to bear down on me, but it was useless. And then I threw a photo at her feet. A photo from their wedding, their relationship. Did you really leave him because of his hand? Did you leave my father because he lost his arm? He's a simple squid seller, and his sister is a mediocre housewife. They don't have anything. What could they give us? And you decided to just drop everything and forget him? What about your family? You deprived me of him, Mother, and not only him, you took everything from me. For what? Mom found herself a richer lover and left everything. She wanted to have a secure life right after my father lost his arm in the workplace. This was all because my mother really wanted some expensive dress for herself, and to please her, he went to work at the factory without sleeping for days. The machine cut off his hand, and my mother left him almost immediately. Cold, right? But worse is that I grew up in a lie, and now I can't even look at her. I decided to find my father again to be with him for a while. I just don't think I can live with my mom anymore.